As you saw in the title, we're going to look at what I carry every day and what I consider to be a no compromise EDC. We're going to look at the weight of everything, and we're going to look at how long time it takes to access the tools when you need them. And finally, I will show you some tasks that you can perform with these tools. So I received this phone case yesterday, so it's brand new, and as such it's quite stiff. It will wear in a bit with time and such, leave more rooms for the tools. This being my third phone case for this same phone. And the phone is a Xiaomi 12T Pro, and it's quite heavy in itself. And I've tried a lot of phone cases, but this is the one I prefer the most, where you can store a lot in the zip pocket on the front. What I'm showing here is how I carry it when I'm at sea, so I don't lose my phone when it falls out of my hand. It happens quite often with the tool as well, so I always tie a knot and tie the other end to my belt. To secure my stuff, I always use a bowline knot. I found that the clove hitch is not secure enough, depending on the rope of course you use, but I prefer the bowline knot always, since it doesn't matter what type of line you have, it will always stay closed anyways. The tool I store closest to the opening is the Leatherman ratchet driver. And in another video I've showed you how you can use that together with the Victorinox skipper. And also how you can use that together with a Deluxe Tinker, depending on what you carry. Next is a roller, which is 13 centimeters in total. It also measures inches on the other side. I got this ruler when I bought a graphic card, and it's marked Republic of Gamers. And you can also purchase this ruler on eBay if you want one. So the case is roughly 2.5 centimeters in depth and 8 centimeters wide. And roughly 15 centimeters in length. Next out is the Knipex Cobra, which is an extremely useful tool in so many ways. Especially I find it useful when I do sewing, which I do a lot actually, around the boat, where the canvas always needs mending, or in many other situations. And since a thimble has the wrong form to always carry with me, this makes for a really good improvised thimble. So as you might know, the Cobra can also lock the ratchet driver, so you can use it with if you don't carry any other tool. Next out is the Rambler, which I modified myself. Combination of a Rambler and a Rover. And I did that modification just to get the flathead screwdriver into my EDC small 58mm Deluxe Victorinox. I find both the flathead screwdriver and the Phillips screwdriver on the 58mm to be extremely useful in a lot of situations. I will show you one example in a minute. So thus far, a lot of tools, but there's still more inside. So these are the bits I carry. It's not a good option to keep them loose in the cover, as they don't stay put in one place then and even scratch the other tools, so I keep them in this cloth. And here is an option for you. What bits do you want to carry and how many? From time to time I've changed my bits, but now I found that carrying hexagonal bits, hex bits, is preferable for me, and I carry from number 6 down to number 2, as you will see soon. I also carry a number 2 Phillips and a flathead screwdriver bit, which is quite thin. It complements the Rombler screwdriver. So next here is a small package of which contains a pincer and a toothpick and a storm match. I use different sizes of wire insulation to store stuff. And it's also quite convenient since you can apply some heat and it will shrink to the size of the stuff you have inside. I've actually thought about not carrying this small package with me, since it takes a lot of space and it just provides things I don't use that often actually. But when you finally need a match, you need a match, and that's why I carry it still. Even though I have some fire steel with me always. It might be more convenient to just use a match in some situations. There's the fire steel. And this is one of the other hex drivers, number 2.5 maybe. Another thing I find very useful is a safety pin, and I try to carry as many as I can. I think there are 4 now of different sizes in the case. Sometimes I carry more and sometimes less. These would be the needles I carry. I have 3 different needles with me, or 4 actually. These 3 are kept together, and then I also have a curved one, which you will see soon. So there's the final needle and the final hex driver. I forgot to mention before, but you can see to the right in the picture there, covered by my hand just now, it's a blunt pin, which I find useful not only for mobile phone uses, but also for in a lot of other situations where you need to push something with a blunt, small object. And it's basically no weight, so I carry it with me always. And here's some leather for stropping your knife edges. It's a bit small, but in a pinch it works just perfectly. And that's about 25 meters of thread for my needles. And here I have sealed up some copper wire, about 10 meters, and about 20 meters of dental floss. Copper wire could come in handy in many ways if you do, for example, need to do some snaring. And dental floss could be used in so many ways. For example, if you rig a makeshift tent or something, you could use that. I use the thread almost every day, so I keep one side open here so it's easy to get out. But the copper wire and the dental floss, it's sealed up from all directions. I never used it actually. And I hope I never will. But I could also see that you could find yourself without rope and you need to tie something, and then this would come in handy. The packaging is done in Mylar, and I've used a regular iron to seal the sides. Depending on the work you plan to do or you normally encounter, you can choose between different needles and other accessories for your purpose. If you never do any sewing at all, or you're just not very good at it, I recommend at least have some safety pins with you so that you can fasten stuff when you need to, but don't have the time to do a proper repair with needle and thread. This is thick canvas thread. It's a really good all-round thread, so I'm thinking that maybe I should just replace my black thread with that instead, as I do a lot of canvas repair. Another item that's been in the kit and is currently outside is the USB adapter for micro SD cards. I used to carry it around, but now it's outside the EDC case. I found that I use it anyways when I'm around the house and can access it anyways. I don't need to carry it around always. I think that you should constantly evaluate and reevaluate what you carry around and iterate and try to find the best carry for you, so that you constantly change and replace stuff that you don't need and add new stuff that you would need. Here you can see I'm using the flathead screwdriver of the Rombler for typical house work, just tightening a screw in an electrical socket. Of all tools I have on my Victorinox multi-tools, I like the flathead screwdriver of the 58mm most, and I think it's really sad that they discontinued it. So now it's time to pack up all the stuff and get it into the case again. It is very rare that I remove all the stuff from my case like this, but sometimes it happens when you need to get to like the needles or the other stuff that are located furthest down in the case. So I'm going to speed up here so you can see the whole process, but in twice the speed. When you found your system where to put the stuff, it's quite easy actually. I've done this 100 times or maybe more, so for me it's quite easy. You just have to figure out the optimal placing of each item, and then there is just a matter of practicing and it gets easier each time. As you saw there, I fit the Rombler inside the Knipex Cobra and it stays there perfectly fine. And it also means that it's fast to get the Rombler outside along with the Cobra. Those are the two items I use the most. And it's a matter of maybe 5 or 10 seconds to get the Rombler out and maybe 2 seconds more to get the Knipex Cobra out. So it's really no hassle to get to it. Just checking the weight on some stuff before I weight the EDC case. And here you can see the Xiaomi 10T Pro. That's quite a heavy phone. And now for the tools with the case, it's 276 grams. So it's quite hefty. But then you get all the tools you need, or I get all the tools I want, with basically no compromise whatsoever. And the total weight is half a kilo. And you feel the weight in your hand. That's something I can vouch for. But also you get used to it. And I found that I prefer to carry this half a kilo weight rather than not have my tools with me. And some time ago I actually had more stuff in it. You see the bits I'm putting on the scales here. I actually had all of them in the case at one time, but then it became so heavy that my wrist started hurting, so I removed them, and I managed quite nicely without them. As you can see, those bits are like number 8 hex and number 1 Phillips and other very uncommon bit that I basically never use anyway, so it was a bit too much to carry those around. All in all, I'm very satisfied with my tools I bring with me everywhere I go. I rarely end up in a situation where I can't immediately find the tool I need. Would it be on the boat or in the car or around the house? or to and from work when I go on a scooter or a bike. That's all for now. Thank you for watching, and please like, share and subscribe.